It's time to stop existing and start living. Hello everyone, Semi-Retired Bob here. I talk about the carnivore diet, all things related to the carnivore diet, and miscellaneous odds and ends. If you're new to the channel, welcome. I'm glad you're here. What you're watching is you're watching me walk. I know that doesn't seem super exciting, but if you consider just under 3 years ago, I couldn't do this. I could barely stand for a couple minutes without severe pain. It suddenly gets a bit more interesting. If you're returning to the channel, welcome back. I'm glad you're here as well. It means a lot to me that you spend just a few moments of your day with me. I would like to ask everyone to help me out just a little bit. Hit that thumbs up button. Drop down in the comments and say, "Hi, Bob." And if you haven't subscribed yet, please consider subscribing. All these things are absolutely free and help me get the word out that it's never too late to change your life. I am 61 years old, almost 62, and I'm doing things I couldn't do when I was 40, like out here walking every day. It is a beautiful day in Omaha, Nebraska. The wind is blowing pretty good, so I went ahead and put my blue shirt back on. But as I discovered in yesterday's video, well, this is Monday's video, so it would have been Saturday's video, I discovered that I really need some water with me. And since I don't have my big jacket on anymore to throw a bottle of water in the pocket, I got my backpack back out because it has water right there where I can get to it, which makes things much easier to get to. There's someone coming down the hill with their dogs, so I'm gonna go out into the street at the next. Oh no, it looks like they're turning in. I'm more than halfway up that big hill that I start off with. I talked Saturday about interval walking, or I think I actually said intermittent walking a couple of times. I'm not pushing up this hill today because I'm planning on going 2 laps today, and then maybe a little extra. It's time to, because with this walking challenge, I've been hovering around the 2.5 to 2.8, 2.9 miles. I did 3.2 miles that one day, but it was in 2 different walks. And going around this big loop twice, while not the most exciting video in the world because the scenery will be the same, it's time to push up a little bit and get to 3 miles of uninterrupted walking today. If the videos look just a little bit different, I finally made the switch from paying. It's going to save me money, but I don't know how the videos are going to turn out, because today will be the first one, this video, that was edited using DaVinci Resolve. I think I have learned enough to get a video put out in DaVinci, but if they don't look exactly right, I apologize, but it's time to stop spending $65 a month on Adobe stuff I originally got the whole Adobe suite because I was doing big photo shoots where I had to do a lot of photo editing of massive quantities. And Adobe's Lightroom is very good at that because you can make a change and have it apply that change to all of the photos in your set. I'm pretty sure there's some other free softwares out there that I can use, but I haven't found those yet. And I've got till I get down to Texas to find it. So if any of you have suggestions, I'm happy to listen, because I do plan on getting my big camera back out and hopefully getting a lot of good pictures in the desert for you on top of what I do for videos. But yeah, this is nice out here. It's 70 degrees. And this is basically what I've been talking about. What the subject of today's video is. Start living. Stop existing. You know, as I've said in several videos, primarily in interviews that other people do, but also in my videos, I have said that just before I started the carnivore diet, I didn't really realize it at the time, but my life revolved around basically sitting around the house waiting to die, being surprised every morning when I woke up that I actually woke up. And now I'm out here living. And that's what you guys need to do too. Do you need to strap on a backpack and go walking a long way? No. Whatever it is, this is where your why comes in. You know, we didn't start, yes, we started the carnivore diet because we wanted to be a little healthier. And at the start of it, that was probably enough motivation. But now, we need new motivations. We need to know what our why is. Why are we doing this? And my why is not your why. You know, do you want to take the grandkids to the zoo? Or get down on the floor and play with your grandkids? Or take your dog on a nice long walk? Whatever it is that you want to do with the rest of your life, you need to start today to have getting that functional movement in that will work you towards that. Now, I'm glad one of my goals is not to be able to get down on the floor and play with my grandkids, because I don't have any grandkids. I could probably do it, but since I've been working on my knee flexibility to be able to get up and down off the ground to go camping, I'm not there yet, but it's getting closer. It's getting closer every day. And part of what I'm hoping to get out of this challenge this month is to just, because instead of doing a lap or two around the church parking lot and then taking a break, I'm getting out here and extending how far I can walk in one shot without taking a break. And I'm hoping that it will strengthen my knees. And of course, continuing to do stretching and all that kind of stuff. But I do have one other quick topic today that I was watching. I don't even know who it was. I don't remember. But they were talking about how charring your meat is so bad for you. Oh, yes. Putting that nice char on your meat that tastes so good can cause all sorts of health problems. They claim it's carcinogenic. They claim the body doesn't know how to deal with it. Now, am I saying we should burn our steaks all the way through? No, of course not. That's dumb. But I like to come at it from an old retired truck driver's common sense approach to what we're talking about here. Several thousand years ago, did humans have all these kitchen gadgets? You know, the sous vide, the high temperature grills, all of the other stuff that we're cooking with today? No. They stuck their meat on a stick and held it over a fire. Now, for those of us that have ever been to a campfire where we were making hot dogs, you know, you put a hot dog on a stick and hold it in the fire to get it hot. Unless you were very careful, your hot dog got a little char on it. You know, it'd burn in a couple of spots, but then it'd be fully cooked and you could eat it. And they've been cooking that way, putting a hunk of meat on a stick and holding it over an open fire for thousands of years. If there was something bad for us cooking the meat that way, would we still be here as a species? I don't think so. It just doesn't make any logical sense. The wind's really starting to pick up here. And you can tell it's spring. Lots of people are getting loads of mulch delivered to their driveway. I just remulched my bushes at the house last year, and I did it with bags. I bought it. I think I went to Lowe's, but it might have been just over to the home shop over the hill. I don't remember where I actually bought them. It's been a whole year ago. How am I supposed to remember that? Oh, no, it was actually Home Depot, because Home Depot had a sale. So I drove the extra distance down to Home Depot and got like 30 bags of mulch. But I think we need to continue to look at stuff from a long-term, what have humans always done point of view. As I said before, just a few moments ago in this video, if cooking meat on a stick and getting char on it were somehow bad for us, how in the world are we still here? Okay, that wind is really picking up. I'm assuming you can't really hear me right now, so I'm going to walk another 15 or 20 steps up here to get into a slightly shaded spot so I can see the controls on my phone. I will have some more thoughts about all this when today's walk is done and I get back up to the house. But for now, that I'm in this slightly shaded spot, it'll be more shaded once the leaves come in. But for now, let's go ahead and cue the music. Okay, cut the music. Oh, I had thoughts of maybe going around for a third lap, but then I pushed it pretty hard going up this big hill for the third trip and decided that was enough. I knew I wanted to add on just a little bit because, you know, I always say that big loop is 1.5 miles, but it's actually 1.4, it's like 1.485 miles. It's a hair shy of 1.5 miles. And I wanted to make sure I got over 3 miles in one shot. I know you guys saw me set the camera down a few times with this water bottle in a mesh pocket. It takes 2 hands to get the bottle out and take a drink. So that's what those little pauses were. Just me setting the camera down to get a drink of water. And I know somebody's gonna ask, so here it is. Bob, do you have any weight in that backpack today? A little bit. How much? I have no idea. What I'm carrying today is the weight of the backpack plus now 4.5 bottles of water. So whatever that works out to. I don't know, but it's actually pretty good exercise. I'm gonna probably slowly add bottles of water to the backpack too, just to up the amount I'm carrying, because I can feel, it doesn't hurt, but I can feel my lower back, where my spinal stenosis usually hurts, starting to, like I said, it doesn't hurt, but it is starting to twinge just a little bit. So this was a good first walk with the backpack. But yeah, don't just sit on the couch and watch Netflix all day. And we're certainly not trying to get healthier so that we can go to the doctor's office and pass our blood tests. We're doing this because we want to start living again. And getting functional movement in is part of living again. Like I said, if you had told me 3 years ago, before I started Carnivore, what my life was going to be like today, I would have laughed at you. I would have said, you're absolutely insane. But here I am, doing all of these things. I'm hoping I get away with not having to cut the grass for at least another week, because it's starting to get shaggy in spots, but there's other spots that are still brownish. So I kind of want to let it grow in a little bit. But I made it somewhere about here. I'll put in the exact distance I walked today. I suspect it's going to be about 3.2 miles, but I'll let you know for sure. Happy Monday, everyone. Let's get our week off to a good start. Have a great day. Don't forget, get out there, be 1% better. Today, tomorrow, and every day. I will see you in the next one.